I can please advise everybody to please keep their cameras off, and we will be respectful of each other, and we're only going to chat about content specific. Your instructor, Mr. Kundane, was not able to make it today, so I'll be presenting the lesson for him, and hope we'll have a fun interactive time doing it today. Okay, so the topic is investigating water towers. We're going to find out about how we can. Um, I'll explain cameras off, please. If you do keep your cameras on, I'm going to ask my host to remove you from the lesson. Okay, so at the end of this lesson, you're going to know more about what a water tower is. You're going to be able to identify the characteristics of a water tower and basically why water towers exist. Okay, so why water towers are important. So a water tower is an elevated structure supporting a water tank. So when they say elevated structure, it basically means that it is risen above the ground, and it is built at a height that is high enough to pressurize a water supply system. Now, because it has the height, it means that it is pressurized, and it can make the water can flow from high to low. So the water is concentrated in an elevated system, and because it is concentrated high above, that means that there's more pressure in it because there's lots of water in the tank. Okay, and so when you open the tank, or if you release water from the tank, it basically goes from high to low. Okay, so the water flows from the top to the bottom. If you need me to explain something, then please raise your hand and just ask me what concept you want me to repeat, and I will ask my host to unmute you, and you can talk to me, and then I'll repeat it for you, because I do have the tendency to go a bit fast. Okay, so you can just tell me how to pace myself so you can understand better. Right, so basically we know that water towers are able to supply water even during power outages. Now, sometimes like uh, um, when when we don't have electricity, or the water is cut off because of a um, uh, interruption, or there's a leak and they have to stop something, then we don't have water. So what happens, especially in rural areas, is that the government sends trucks, and they take water to these people that don't have water, and they can supply water to them. And a water tower also, basically, these trucks fill in the water tower, and people around in that area have a communal means a common area where they can go and they can source water from it. Okay, so a water tank, it also serves as a reservoir to help people with needs. Now, a reservoir basically is a place where water is stored. Like, if you know, cameras off, please. Okay, you're going to put your cameras off. So what happens is that during water is piped from a system. Okay, the government purifies the water from the rivers and the dams. Water is collected, then it basically goes to the water supply filtration process, where um, the water is purified and all the harmful substances are removed, and then it is piped into a reservoir, and this reservoir, it stores water. So a water tower is similar to a reservoir where it stores the water, and then from that reservoir, then the municipality, it connects pipes going from this reservoir, and it goes to all the areas around it, and it pumps water and supplies water to all the households. So normally a pump refills the water tank at night. Now, the difference between a water tank and a reservoir is that a reservoir has piped water. So the water automatically is piped into people's homes through pipes, and people turn their taps on and they get water. But now a water tower, it has to be manually filled. So people come with their trucks of water, and because they do it at night is because there's less traffic, less people, less interruptions, and less contamination. Contamination means that the water won't get contaminated by too much of germs around. So they will they will put water into the water tank mainly at night, and this has to be manually done. It's not automatic like a reservoir, like how in a reservoir you would get, water coming in through some pipes and then going out through other pipes into your home. So the water comes in from the main supply of water, and then it gets stored into the reservoir, and then it gets piped into your homes. So this is the difference between a reservoir and a water tank. The water tank, you have to manually fill it, and it stores a certain amount of water. Now, for example, if something had to happen and this water tank had to burst, that means all that water for the people around that area, they won't have any water. Okay, and it would be a bit of a problem, because that's why we have to be very careful with water tanks, because that's the main source of water in a particular area. We don't normally see it because more people that live in urban areas don't normally see it because the water is sourced into your homes. But mostly in rural areas, they have water towers. So who can explain to me what a water tower is? You can pick your hand up, and then do water towers stop working during a power outage? And is the water tower high or on the ground? Does anybody want to try to answer these questions? First, you can explain what is a water tower. Nobody. Okay. So let's see. You know that a water tower is basically a tower that stores water. And why does a water tower need to be above the ground? Because yes, Cindy, I'll ask my host to unmute Cindy. You want to try? Don't be afraid, you can. Even if it's not correct, it doesn't matter because we learn through Cindy. Okay, I think my host is having a I can hear you. Hi. Okay, there's some sort of technical difficulty. Anyone else that wants to try?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thanks, and you, ma'am?
I'm good, thank you. You want to explain to me what a water tower is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, a water tower is a place where you store all the water that you use to bath, to wash your hands, and to do other things.
Oh, very, very good. And is the water tower on the ground or above the ground?
It's above the ground.
Oh, excellent. And do you think that the water tower will work if there's no power?
No, it won't work. I mean, it
Why?
will work
It will work. Why?
because you don't have to use electricity. You can
Very,
use
very, very, very good. Well done. Okay, so a water tower is basically manual. Manual is means that well done to you. You can manually turn it off with your hands or with your hands. So it has a tap. Okay, well done to you, Zinzi. I'm very, very proud of you. Okay, so we're going to continue. So now there are many different types and shapes of water towers. Okay, and water tower, hi, hello. Okay, so there's different types of water towers. Now, water towers are positioned on early railroads where steam engines needed to fill water every few kilometers. So we had in the olden days, they used to have water towers near railroads. Now, because the, everything became electrical, before everything became electrical, they used to have steam engines. And these steam engines needed to run with water. So they used to have these water towers situated near the railroads because most of the things in long ago they used to have steam filling. Uh, um they used to run on steam, and everything used to be transported, sorry, through the trains because we didn't have airplanes at that time and we didn't have cars at that time. So most of all our goods that people used to get was transported through the train, and the world technology was still developing them. So they used to have lots of water towers near these railroads, and it used to be every few kilometers around because steam is basically heated water. Okay, so every time that the train needed to run, they used to put um, water in it, and also uh, um, to keep it going through. Okay, so water towers need pipes to draw water up, and the pipes of water need to flow. So you have your water, you can close your eyes and you can imagine a big water tower up on the ground. Now, because it's going to be high up, you're not going to be able to touch it, right? Or close the tap or open the tap. So what you need to do is they needed to take a pipe from the water tower right on top, and you can picture a big pipe going down, and then it will be attached to a little device where they have a tap to open or close it, and then you can get the water coming out from that tap through the pipe. And you can close the tap when you don't not using the water, and when you want to open the tap, you can take water out. And it's very, very important that we are respectful of water, because the only amount, did you know that all the water on earth, there's a set amount of water. You cannot make new water. So we have to always close our taps. We shouldn't leave water running because the water that is on earth is a set amount. And if we finish all the water, that means we're not going to have any more. And then in life, you know that everything needs water to live. Our plants need water and sunlight and uh, carbon dioxide and air and oxygen for it to grow. And we are reliant on the plants because um, we get our food from the plants, and not only do we get food from plants, we also get our oxygen from plants. And we human beings, we also need water. So we need to be very, very respectful when it comes to water, and we mustn't think that water would just appear all the time, or be just sourced all the time. And like there's droughts as well, so the rainfall is not so heavy. So we have to be very respectful of water and not waste it. We shouldn't leave our taps running. Who knows how we can be respectful of water? Anybody wants to try? You want to pick up your hand? Yes, Sue?
We can close taps and we can make sure that we water our plants once a week so that we don't waste water and water them every day.
Oh, very good. And Joda, your hand is also up. Like, let's use the example of brushing your teeth. What can you do while you're brushing your teeth with the water? Hi, I can hear you. Hello. Okay. So when you brush your teeth, then you can switch the taps off, and that basically saves water. And you must also always be grateful that if you have tapped water in your homes, you must be very grateful that you do have, because not everybody has tapped water in their homes. This is why we're studying water towers. So in rural areas, people have to walk long distances to go and get water, and they have to carry it with their hands and in buckets. And then they have to carry that heavy buckets back to their homes, and they have to purify, boil the water, wait for it to cool down, and then only they can drink that, just to be safe, because you know sometimes water can be contaminated. So we must be very, very privileged of the fact that we have water in our homes. Okay, so the pressure that is built up by the water falling down in the pipe, it forces to reach our homes, it is connected to. So basically, because the water is pressurized, then um, pressurized meaning that it's concentrated in one area. Now, because it is concentrated in one area, now when you open the tap, basically it forces the water to move from high to low, and it can reach your buckets in which you can take home. Now, water towers are often connected to underground reservoirs. Now, underground reservoirs is a big storage place. Okay, so you have these reservoirs that keep your water. As I told you before, you had your reservoirs where it stores water, and through piped places, it can go into your homes, and it can also go to water towers if your area is well developed. Okay, so what you can do is you can draw a water tower. For example, let me try and show you one. Okay, I'm going to draw a very simple one on here, and then you can draw it as well. So let's say you have this big container here. Okay, and then you have your structure that's keeping it above the ground. Okay, and then let's say that this is your ground. So I drew a very simple one for you. Okay, so now when you're going to label it, you're going to say that this is the tower. Excuse my writing, I'm writing like a grade 1. Okay, and then these are the poles that hold it. You remember in your previous lessons you did structures and struts. So the struts is a reinforcing material that makes something hold. Who remembers what struts are? You can raise your hand. Yes. And ask my host to unmute one person. What is a strut?
I did unmute, ma'am.
Sorry? Okay. So what you can do, hello?
I am unmuting them, but they're not talking.
Okay, I think that maybe they're a bit afraid. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll continue. I'll
Ma'am,
continue. I
ma'am, a structure is something like that can hold something by not falling down.
okay. It's a structure holds something. That's fine, and it prevents things from um falling down. Okay, like how, for example, we have these poles over here. It makes a structure. And then remember that he told you in some of your lessons that if you add diagonal lines to your structure, they are called your struts. That makes it stronger. Okay, so these are your struts. Excuse my writing. So you have a strut. Right, and then here I put this pipe coming down here. Right, so we have our pipe, it's going down here, and then we'll have a tap here where you can put your bucket underneath, and then you can have water filling in. Now, in some places, they are a bit more advanced where they can take the water tower and then they have pipes going down, and they can have underground pipes going this way, and it can connect it to your homes. And then you actually don't need to go to the tower to get water. It depends on the area where you live. Okay, so if you live in a well-developed area, then they'll have basically pipes going down here, and then they'll connect underground pipes, and it will take you the water to your homes, and you can get water at home. But like in farms and places like that, you'll have a water tower erected like this, and then you'll have water and a tap coming down, and then the people go to this tower, and then they open their tap, and then they collect water in their buckets. Now, you know when I spoke about pressurized? Pressurized means that it's the water is all in this one container here, this big huge container, okay, this big tower, and it is because it is all in one place. We say it is it has a high concentration of water, and now there's a lot of water in this container, in this tower. And now when we open the tap, we release the water. So when we release this water coming down, it's moving from a high pressure to coming to a lower pressure. And this tap that we have here controls the flow of water. If you open the tap a lot, then full, then lots of water is going to gush out. So it's going to be from high pressure to low pressure. But if you open the tap slowly, then you can control the flow of water coming out. So even in your homes, when you open the tap, don't open the tap a lot because we need to save water. Because if you open the tap a lot, then lots of water is going to flow, and that lots of water that is flowing is going to get wasted. So what you can do is you can draw a water tower. Use a ruler, right? Don't be like me where I did it freehand. You must always use a ruler when you're doing drawings. Okay, and then you can draw the water tower, and you can, while you are, after you draw it, you can label it, and then I want you to practice at home. You can do this practice like what you learned by me saying. You can go to your mom, or you can go to your dad, or if you have a pet, you can go to your pet because sometimes mom and dad may be busy, or you can go to your brother or sister, and you can tell them, explain to them, explain all that you learned about water towers, struts, and structures. So you can tell them how you used the structure to support the water tower, how you used your struts to reinforce the structure to make it strong so this water tower can be held. And you can talk about how the water is concentrated in the tower and it can flow down the pipes. And then you have a tap that controls the flow of water. And after you explain it to them, you can take a piece of paper and you can actually also write it. Now, the reason why I'm asking you to do it this way, is because one, by drawing it, you are learning what I taught you, and you're also learning about structs and structures, and then you're learning the concept of how water is flowing. And by you writing it, you are putting it into your long-term memory. That means you'll be able to memorize it. So in the test, if they ask you a question, you'll know the answer very well because you learned it. Okay, so you learned it in two ways. You learned it through a drawing. So this drawing is a visual learning, and then you're learning it through writing. That means you are putting it into long-term memory. So you don't have to write a long story. You can just write a paragraph. Okay, and I'm going to repeat again. In that paragraph, you're going to add what is a water tower. You're going to talk about how it is constructed by putting structures and structs and the purpose of a structure and a struct. And you can talk about the water flow and how the taps control the water flow. And then you can talk about how water is also transported through pipes from a water tower or a reservoir. That means like lots of pipes can be connected to here, and it is transported to different areas in different houses, and that's how people get water, piped water from either a water tower or a reservoir. Okay, so now why was the water tower near railroads? Then what is a reservoir, and how does a water power build up pressure? Does anybody want to answer any of these questions? Okay, my host will unmute one person, but remember that you have to speak, and then I can either tell you well done or I can help you understand it better. So you must speak. Hello? Hi? Okay. So what?
Hello.
Hi, I can't hear you.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I think how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Do you want to tell me why the water towers was near railroads? Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, thanks. And how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Are you going to tell me what a water tower is?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is it?
Ma'am, a water tower is is a container where you store water
Okay, very good. And what can you tell me why was it near railroads?
so that they can stop every kilometer and fill the tank so
For the
that the
steam.
steam would come out.
Oh, very good. For the steam trail to move. Very good. And what's a reservoir? Do you remember what's a reservoir? It's like a water tower, but bigger.
Uh,
It's a place that stores water. Okay. Well
okay,
done on
ma'am.
well done on the questions that you have answered. You did very, very well. Okay. I'm very, very proud of you. So, um, how does the water tower build up pressure? Basically, that pressure that that builds up is when it starts flowing from high pressure to low pressure. Okay, so what you can copy these links down. They're about 2 minutes videos for you to watch. I'll call it out for you. It's youtube.com/watch question mark V equals to capital letter Z 18, capital letter WO, small letter ZQ, capital letter H 17, small letter W. And it basically tells you how water towers work and designing a water tower, and also solutions for all indigenous structures. Okay, so it's an interesting site for you to watch, and it will put things, everything that I taught you today, you'll be able to understand it better if you watch this video. So you can take down that site. And then all the information that was on this lesson was from Study and Master Design, on pages 84 and 85. So if you have this textbook, then you can go to page 84 and 85, and you can look at strong structures there. Then you can go to, if you have the day-by-day textbook, then you can go to page 85 and 86. If you use platinum textbooks, then you can look at page 99 to page 103, and you can look at the structure of water tower there. And then if you have the Viva design textbook, then it's on page 91 and 92. So I know different schools uses different textbooks. So your Mr. Kunde had wrote this and all this down for you, so you can use it to learn. Okay, Spot On has page 48 and 49, and we have Oxford Successful is page 66 and 67. We also have Shutter and Shooter Structure, which is page 73 to 75. And then we have Sassol, Designing a Strong Structure, which is page 206 to 210. So copy whichever textbook that you have with you, copy those page numbers, and you can use it to learn. And then also if you want to recap, or if you didn't understand anything, you can go on YouTube and watch this lesson again. So it will help you understand things better. So tomorrow's lesson is basically designing a water tower. So we did design a very simple one today, but you'll learn tomorrow how to do it properly. Okay, so join me tomorrow on designing a water tower. Does anybody have any questions? You can raise your hand. Yes. Hi.
Ma'am, I don't have any questions.
And
Just
did you
forgot to put down my hand.
No problem. Anyone else?
Ma'am,
Hi.
when we design our water towers tomorrow, are we gonna be labeling them?
In any diagram that you draw, you must label.
Thank you, teacher. That's all.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Ma'am, I
Hi.
don't have the test books.
Then it's no problem. You can use web this tutorial again. You can go on Google and you can watch it again. And while you're watching it, you can take down notes, and you can put it on stop and pause, take down your notes, and say again, and write down whatever you need to write, then say again. So it's actually a nice way to learn because you're becoming independent and you're learning how to use technology to study. And okay, so don't feel bad if you don't have the textbook, because you have this video and you can Google it again and you can use it and learn from it.
Ma'am,
Anyone else? Hi.
what pages for the CAPS textbooks?
What textbook do you
The CAPS textbooks.